Boys and girls, let's just move that over just a touch like that. There we go. I don't have to lean over so much now. Hopefully this time I'll remember to look at the lens rather than the screen there. But here we go. Quick review. A couple of days ago I had a real nice chat with Dan from Greatevapes, group sponsors and sponsor of JV Live. And he said that he's got a few little bits and bobs for me. And the conversation evolved and went on, and he told me that they now have introduced an RY4. And he asked me if I wanted to try some, so of course the obligatory 20ml came through along with some Welsh mist and some lemon sherbet. Sorry, I don't know why I have to say it like that, I just do. But yeah, so two of my favourite juices, plus an RY4. I'm a fan of RY4. I like RY4. It gives an interesting spin on a classic tobacco flavour. Now, secret time. I've already done this video once and then realised my converter didn't quite like it, so I deleted it. So, without further ado, I'm just going to give a quick sniff test. It's got a slight subtleness to it that I wasn't expecting, because obviously most of the RY4s that I've used before have been very pow and in your face. This one was particularly subtle, a lot more subtle than I thought it would be. So anyway, we are currently at 11 watts on the SID. The coil in the dripper is 1.6 ohms. It's a 10 to 12 watt micro coil type affair. Takes a little while to heat up, but when it heats up it's good. So let's get a little bit of juice on the old, oh god, fresh cotton. There we go. That should be, oh god, yeah, that's out of cut. Get a little bit on there. Obviously if you're using cotton wool, don't vape it dry. I did that once. Not a good idea, unless you're very good at putting out fires quickly. It's got a little drip on the edge there. Clean that off. There she blows. And if you were able to see that, because obviously the screen I'm looking at is very small, and I'm about 6 foot away from, well not 6 foot, but about 4 foot away from me. Here we go. Like I said, 11 watts. Oh no, staying missid. 11 watts, 1.6 ohms, 24 milligram, my preferred choice of nicotine. 50-50 mix, as always. I believe that's across the entire range of Greatevapes e-liquids. So here we go. You can see, pretty decent vapour, as you would expect off of 50-50. I've got really itchy arm, that'll be why. Okay, sorry, I digress, it's annoying me. As you just saw, pretty good vapour. Obviously clearly not a sub-ohming, so not going to get a huge cloud on this one. Throat hit, consistent as always. Greatevapes e-liquids have always had a very consistent nicotine, and I'll always applaud somebody on their choice of nicotine if it's consistent. Some people go, oh, I didn't like that nicotine, so I swapped out for this nicotine, and I personally think that makes a difference. Greatevapes, as far as I know, have never changed their nicotine for once they've got it right. And to me, to my palate, it does seem to be the same across the board. Flavour, a lot more subtle than what I was expecting. As I was saying earlier on, a lot of the RY4s that I really like are quite, have some of that. Here's some caramel on the inhale and there's some tobacco on the exhale. This is a lot more subtle. It's quite a sweet, I want to say underdeveloped, but not underdeveloped, slightly muted note. And on the exhale you get the tobacco flavour. whilst it's not a massively caramelly flavour, it's very sweet. Very sweet. But not what I was expecting from an RY4. That said, it doesn't make it a bad RY4. On the contrary, it's very good. Once I received all this morning, all my other bits of bobs, so I got 2 EVODs and some spare heads. Obviously with the other 2 bottles of juice. I was thinking, yeah, another RY4 to try. Is it going to be good? You know, and expecting, you know, me and Dan have very similar tastes, and I've not really tried any of their juices that I've not liked. But I was surprised at the subtlety of the flavour. On my initial sort of tasting, I'm like, okay, that's not what I was expecting, but it wasn't a bad thing. So I'm going to round this up very quickly with some points. Throat hit, 10 out of 10. Consistency, as always, brilliant. But then I am on 24 milligrams, so it's going to kick you in the throat. Of course, another thing to remember with high nicotine is sometimes it can occlude the flavour. So perhaps on a lower nicotine, you'll get more of the flavour coming through. Flavour, naturally, quite subtle, a lot more subtle than I was expecting, but still very, very nice. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 because it wasn't what I was expecting, but that said, it's still good quality flavouring. Nice sweet inhale and a slightly bittersweet exhale where the tobacco really starts to come into play. Again, I'm guessing the flavours within the RY4, but going by what I know, it's a caramelly tobacco flavour. That's what I'm getting. Vapour. Obviously, I'm not on a sub-arm coil this time, so to see that cloud that we got, I was quite pleased. But it is 50-50, so you're going to get a decent cloud of it, whatever you vape at. I had a go on it on one of the brand new EVODs earlier, and apart from obviously that brand new coil taste, the cloud was good, and that was on a 2.3 ohm, I think it was 2.3 ohm or 2.2 ohm coil, being punched in at 11 watts as per my sort of wattage level. So the vape is great, so I'm going to give it a 9 for that. Overall, I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. Very impressed with it. I would like to see a touch more caramel sort of flavour into it, because I'm really sort of getting into that caramel flavour now. But again, this is, as always, just my opinion. Overall, very impressed with it, and I've got to say, irregardless of my involvement with Greatevape, which, by the way, website, go check them out. They have produced some pretty stunning stellar juices, and when I first met them at when I first met them at Vape Fest last year, we struggled off pretty well, got on very well, and we hooked up a couple of times subsequently, and we stayed in fairly close contact, and of course, sponsored Just Vapes. So get along, have a look at their selections. My personal recommendations as of today are Welsh Mist, obviously, Lemon Sherbet, of course. I believe it's called Summer Blast, which is a peachy, fruity one, and of course it's RY4, and there are some more new flavours coming, if not already out there. One of them being Spearmint, and one of them being a competition winners sort of name a juice, which I believe is still in development. So they're going to have a new range coming up. Hopefully I'll get some testers of these to bring across to your attention as and when they're made and done. I have been the Fury 79. You lot, as always, have been gorgeous. Peace.